This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Very Hard to Submit. Go to vhtsny.com and check out their kimonos, compression gear, and apparel. This is a brand we are excited to be supported by. Their gear is high quality with a clean design. Go to vhtsny.com and see for yourself.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Grappler Union podcast. Javier Palomo alongside Anthony Zito. Our guests today are James Clingerman, Joel Blanton, and AJ Clingerman. James is a third-degree black belt, Joel is a first-degree black belt, and AJ is a purple belt. Enjoy.
I hate the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes.
You taught me using any technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here just to take part. We're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life.
All right, enough of this. All right, we're live. Okay.
You guys missed out on some high-quality nonsense there.
Shake weight.
Yeah. That was actually
Picture
referenced,
it.
yeah.
James Clingerman with 2 shake weights.
Whoa.
There you go.
Just working out.
I'm just putting it out there. Let the memes begin.
James who?
Yeah,
Joel is joining us. James, can you introduce Joel for us?
I can. This is Joel, baby silverback Blanton, 6-time IBJJF world champion, 7-time IBJJF pan champion. What else? Lots of stuff.
That's a lot of championships right
There's
there.
so many.
Did he win a beard championship? Because that's a nice beard.
Probably.
I'm gonna
It was a
get
lot
trimmed
longer
up
last
yesterday.
night.
Did it
That's
really?
the thing.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I've
Well done. Look at how
I know.
your beard game is just.
Unkempt.
Yeah. What's up? Going on?
But it
I've
works.
been shamed.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Don't stand next to Joel.
Well, nah, that's
doesn't show.
We're gonna frame you guys.
There you go.
Keep you beardless ones in the middle,
There you
and
go.
we'll just bushy beards on the outside.
And AJ?
No
Welcome.
beard.
No beard.
Generally preferred.
So what's going on, guys? You had a seminar today, huh?
Yes, sir.
10th Planet Chicago.
10th Planet Chicago.
Sweet.
Learned some pressure.
Pressure
Gotta be
in
heavy
the, in the
when you're
no-gi.
small.
In the no-gi,
pressure.
yes.
In the no-gi.
That's what
No-gi
we're calling
pressure.
it now, the no-gi.
Like the Clingerman.
Yeah. So I explained to him that one of our enthusiastic supporters, for the longest time, just we could not convince him that James had an actual last name or first name, and he would just refer to James habitually as the Clingerman.
Okay.
Which honestly sounds like a comic book character when you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like
And he's got a Polish accent.
yeah, this makes it
way
even better. But yeah, you got the Batman, the Spider-Man, the Clingerman.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It seems like your name was meant for a grappler, so you found your way into.
I like it.
Yeah.
So
your
technically,
birthright.
Klinge, Klinge, in German is blade or
Oh.
knife.
Oh,
And we choke with the blade of the wrist.
there we go. There we go.
And go with something like that.
There you go.
I feel like that's a logo waiting to happen. just you putting a guillotine in, and it's an actual guillotine blade on your forearm, something like that.
I'm gonna draw it up.
Yep.
Someone make it
You
happen.
heard it here first.
Are we
people.
going comic book now? We're going comic book?
I mean, he's the
Yeah,
Clingerman.
yeah.
That's right. DC or Marvel?
Marvel, of
Marvel.
course.
Oh, no
There
DC.
They
wasn't even a
both-
thought
they both-
there.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
On that.
Really quick.
I can't believe you
hesitation.
started taking it there.
I just was wondering. I didn't know Marvel or DC. I didn't know where you guys are at.
Yeah, well.
Which
Now
side?
you know.
Which side? It's getting
I
serious.
mean, even just going with the movies, like the most recent batch, like Marvel wins that one pretty hands
Yeah.
down. I think.
What was the most recent Marvel?
Infinity War. Well, let's see. Yeah, Infinity War would
Ant-Man.
be.
Ant-Man actually
And then
came out
Ant-Man
after that,
And
right?
Wasp was
Yeah.
after? Okay, yeah, that's right. So Ant-Man and Wasp was technically.
I see there's something coming out now. Another-
Captain Marvel will be out in March.
Now that's a woman.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's her name is Captain Marvel.
There's a long story here,
Oh, no,
which
no,
I
no,
will
no.
gladly get into.
We don't have to go there.
Okay, I'll shorten it. So
Thank you.
the first Captain Marvel in the comics was a man. He's an alien, but a male.
Marvel, right?
Yes, Marvel is his name. So he's captain in the military. Marvel. He's a Kree soldier, and I promise I'd keep this short, and yet all these details creep in rapidly.
They do.
Anyhow, and Carol Danvers is sort of his liaison here on Earth. And due to some wacky comic book stuff, she gets superpowers virtually identical to his, slightly different, but virtually identical. And in honor of him, and because, it's like the 60s and that's what you do, she took the name Miss Marvel.
Okay.
And eventually, over time, Captain Marvel, a much beloved character in the Marvel universe, eventually he succumbs to cancer. We have an actual like death from non-violence or whatnot in the comics. And for the longest time, she was still Miss Marvel, though occasionally she used other names. I think Warbird was for a number of years the main name. And then eventually they did a story where like Captain America is like, Carol, it's time. Like, you have to assume the mantle. And she has been Captain Marvel ever since. And we're going to skip pretty much all of that for the sake of brevity for the movie and just straight up going to be Captain Marvel from the get-go, probably. So,
Probably.
Yeah.
But it looks like a neat movie.
No, it's super neat.
I mean, with CGI, they're making these movies just incredible. It's just
Yeah, they're amazing.
it's unbelievable.
You looking forward to your eventual CGI jiu-jitsu movie?
Yeah, I wish they would just come out with a legit jiu-jitsu movie.
Man, I'm still waiting for
Never Back Down.
dude. Come on. That was a vague attempt. Well, we got that one documentary coming up. It was supposed to be out basically by now, but yeah, Closed Guard, the movie we're talking about.
Closed Guard, yeah. When is that? They didn't release anything yet.
No. Drysdale posted that I guess they've fallen a little bit behind on the filming / editing schedule. Actually, probably mostly editing at this
But
point.
that's a documentary. It's not
Yeah,
really
that's a straight up
movie.
documentary.
Right.
But they did have to do some movie elements because they did some like recreation stuff to be like, okay, this is how this is how the meeting of these two people happened. This is like how the fight, like so just that it isn't like a constant stream of here's an old picture with a voiceover.
Right.
So yeah.
I saw that movie Vice. Did you guys see that?
Vice.
No.
Because there's no superheroes in it.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's about Dick Cheney.
Oh, Vice.
It
Yes,
was
that
was
looked
good.
great. Yeah,
was very
with
good.
Batman as Dick Cheney.
Exactly.
Yeah, that guy's an amazing
Christian
actor.
Bale.
Right? Yep.
Christian Bale is like, he's amazing.
Yeah, and you got Sam Rockwell.
Yep.
Sam Rockwell, also super talented.
Yep. The whole
and
cast. I mean, it was
underappreciated.
a very good movie. I highly recommend it. It's scary.
Scary, like jump scary, or
no,
just
scary,
like
if that all is absolutely, if any of it is sort of could have happened or did happen, it's fucking scary because wow, the craziness.
do they go over the scene where he shoots a man in the face with a shot?
I think they had to, right?
They do go over the scene where he shoots a man, and then the man has to apologize for him shooting him.
Right.
That
And
is the
that's my
best.
recollection of how it actually
That
went
is-
down.
That is so gangster. I can't even it is so fucking gangster.
Sorry, my face was in the way.
Yeah. My face should have had like a brighter orange protective vest over
Right,
it. So
yeah.
you wouldn't
They don't get
accidentally
into
blast
details
me.
about it, but the director did a fantastic job. I think it's Rodriguez, Gary Rodriguez, I think, something like that.
I'm not sure.
But very like, if you like, who's the guy who did Pulp Fiction? Quentin Tarantino. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it Robert Rodriguez?
Robert Rodriguez. That's
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
so
I
it's very
missed out on that
Quentin
detail entirely.
Tarantino-ish,
Yeah,
like
they've
how
got-
they do a lot of comedy inside there. They do, there's some cool stuff. It's very clever.
Political history, definitely a laughing matter.
Yes. Right. Well, what they're saying is unbelievable. Like if those things actually happen, these conversations and where we got to where we are now is
There's probably a Reddit thread debunking 90% of it.
and which they say in the beginning, this is based on a true
Based
story.
on, yeah.
But don't blame us if we fucked it up. Like that comes out in the credits. Like the first 3 sentences, that's what they say.
Okay.
So
well, that sets the stage interestingly.
yes, yeah. But it was a good movie. I would recommend it. But let's go over some jiu-jitsu. So besides the pressure game today, what else you guys do?
A little bit of Shakira, a little bit of Mick Jagger. I think Mick
Yeah.
Jagger is my favorite part of it all.
Thank you.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean what?
Can we go over these definitions, please? Because I've
No,
never
no,
heard these moves.
Absolutely
Should have
not.
been there.
Obviously.
Coulda, shoulda.
Shit, Shakira was there. Jagger. Fuck.
Yeah, it was just
My kind of concert.
Star-studded.
Indeed, indeed. That should be what the whole series is called, the Star-Studded,
Yeah.
because
I like
it
it.
does hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's painful. Those knuckles grinding into various parts of my body, soul crushing pressure.
You feel good now,
Soul-crushing
though, right?
pressure.
It's like a
Yeah, no,
it's like
I-
a 3-4 or
You
2
were
or 3
you
hour
were
massage.
correct. Now that my body is acclimated to being back together again and not being stretched out in strange dimensions, I feel taller actually.
Is it one of those things where like you feel the same as you did before, but you just remember how bad you felt in the middle?
That could be. Yeah, it's like almost like a Stockholm syndrome type thing where I'm just
funny,
like I'm so used to being in pain.
Like as we're going into the some of the north south stuff we did, Joel's like, "Oh man." He's like, now I know how that feels. I do that all the time.
Had no idea.
Right. Like
great.
Like, oh, this is
Sort of.
both amazing and yet I feel like a terrible human being all at once.
Yeah.
It's a very big, humbling
Right.
moment. That's great.
Joel, now you're a black belt
Yes.
under James?
Yeah.
Just got
When-
his first degree, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
November.
Congratulations on that.
Pull that right up
Thank
to
you.
you. Okay, there you go.
There we go.
That's awesome, man. So you and I were talking before the podcast, but so now you're 47.
Yes.
You started training.
30 years old.
Wow.
November of 2001.
All with James.
No, that was
Okay.
right before James.
Okay.
Actually, I had trained in just north, about an hour north of where we're at now, and I was on the middle. I had lost a title fight to a guy that he was training, and that's how I
MMA.
initially.
Oh, you were in
met him.
MMA first.
Yes, I was in MMA first. I thought, when I first saw MMA, I was like, wow, people are really doing this. So I had to find out about it. So I talked to a guy that I'm actually still friends with to this day, and found a place to train. I talked to a guy. I made a phone call 3 weeks later. I showed up and never looked back.
With no fighting experience? You
No,
just saw it?
I was a wrestler in high school.
Okay. All right.
Few street tussles,
Yeah.
you know. But
I'm a street fighter.
Man, I had 200 street fights. Can't get knocked out. But went in and just, it was the coolest thing ever. I trained for 6 months, took my first fight. 10 fights later, I bumped into Jay Massey, who was training under James at the time, with James at the time. Took a loss, and then we trained probably shortly after that because you
Yeah.
came up to Kokomo and trained with us. I was like, man, I'm going to smash this little dude. And then he just submitted me over and over and over and over again. I was like, ah. So I wanted to find out what he had going on, you know, what he knew. So I went down, and that was, man, late, probably 2003.
That was my guess too.
Sure.
And then it just, we hit it off right away, and we've been friends ever since.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been a great time, man. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So you've right away then you still kept up with MMA?
I fought for 9.5 years, and then I really started applying myself more to jiu-jitsu after that. I took a loss that didn't sit well with me at the time. So I jumped in my gi, and I just kind of never looked back.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked for a fight for a little while, but everything just kept falling through with the promoters I was talking to.
Right.
So after that, I was just, I'll just do jiu-jitsu now, which has been fantastic. So
Has been a not bad choice, right?
yeah,
Getting punched in the face
sure.
is dumb.
Yeah. Sucks. So you do IBJJFs, obviously. And
Yeah,
all
and
the-
been doing some of the local super fights.
I think we
down
first
in
met
Nashville.
at Fight to Win.
Probably, yeah.
The first one here in Chicago, right?
Yeah, where we had to go outside unexpectedly.
the slippery Fight to Win.
Oh man, that was
Escapades.
jeez, it was
Yeah.
insane. It just would not stop sweating on the mat.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That was such a. I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but that was such a weird experience, and yet still pretty damn cool. You know,
Very cool.
Yeah, it was amazing that they managed to pull that off with all the struggles and
Yeah,
and
it was great.
troubles that we had.
I mean, I would like to see another outside event. I think it's awesome.
But one that does not involve a
Yeah.
crazy slippery mat.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the problem is when the temperature drops at night,
Right.
all the dew like settles. We experienced that years ago at an MMA show,
Right.
and it was, I mean, guy, like literally, I'm reffing, holding the cage, like sliding along. Guys were like cutting the soles out of their shoes and duct taping them to their feet to try to. It was amazing, but horrible at the same time. Like somebody throw a punch and like slip so hard they do backflips, and it was dangerous.
Yeah, that sounds not safe at all. It sounds like
wasn't.
something I
It
do
was-
want to see on video. You know,
Definitely before the commission took over.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I might be messing up these details, but I'm pretty sure I saw that like back in the day, Uriah Faber had a fight outside, which is not that uncommon.
Right.
But if I remember correctly, it started raining
Yeah, it was
and the
raining.
show went on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They fought in the rain.
That's cool.
That's dumb.
but that's cool though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's cool, but it's dumb. It's like
Like a Van Damme movie, like
Exactly,
Cyborg or something, right?
the slow motion scene with the raindrops coming down, beating off the cam. Yeah, I can see it.
Hell yeah,
it's
that'd
a
be
great
cool.
visual. It still sounds like death is knocking on the door. though.
Yeah.
yeah, but the camera or the photos for that fight would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Especially like the UFC slow motion stuff they do.
Yeah, see, that's where you're thinking. You're like, think
Yeah.
about the presentation. Huh?
Exactly. It's all
Yeah.
about the presentation.
Yeah,
I
could
like
we,
that.
Could we perhaps, like we should talk to Valigi and be like, hey, jungle fights, actual tropical storm. How about
Right.
that? How about that? Can we make that happen?
Wildfires in the background. Let's do it. Put the ring up quick. Yeah.
That's just catch the right season in California and have an outdoor show and you're fine.
Yeah. Right. No shit.
Yeah, we actually just got back from California for Nogi Worlds, and our friends live out there, and it was cool. Like, they were showing us videos and stuff, but like out of their balcony, where like they're like, yeah, that whole hill was engulfed in flames, and you can hear like the fire trucks just nonstop going. Wow. It was pretty wild. Whoa.
That was the opposite of that. That wasn't a fire truck. That was a snowplow.
That was a fighter jet. But it was cool. We went driving. I mean, not cool.
Cool
but-
seems like the wrong word.
Right, yeah.
The opposite,
It
right?
was-
The opposite of cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it
Right.
was, yeah.
Yeah, driving around, like the devastation.
Yeah.
And, we went and we kind of talked to a guy who's like, yeah, my house made it, but none of my neighbors did. And it was amazing to see like a house standing completely untouched.
And then
And both houses next door to it were melted like a s'mores. You know what I mean?
crazy.
But yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah. Those California wildfires are strange. I don't really understand.
Fire?
Well, I understand
Yeah,
that, but I don't.
exactly.
I can't wrap my head around like when they say how many football fields a minute they covers. It's like
Something obscene.
It's like I'm just thinking, I can't even understand that. Like my brain can't compute that.
Well, especially when you're like in it and you're just like praying that the wind doesn't shift and start
Right.
bringing it your way or
Right.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I've not seen it like up close and personal. I've seen the devastation afterwards.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of video footage of it and everything where it literally looks like hell on earth. This time, I'm pretty sure it was this time. I suppose it could have been an older video that just like resurfaced, but somebody was in like one of the national parks or something like that, camping. And they had like dash cam video of them trying to escape the literal hell on earth. And just like you see like embers everywhere, trees come crashing down. It was nuts. You want to talk about like something that looked like it was like a Hollywood disaster film.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, we know they made it, I hope, because we're seeing the
video,
footage
yeah.
here.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely was one of those videos that ends too soon because I didn't see them get to safety at any point.
Right.
So hopefully that wasn't like scavenged from the wreckage of their car.
Facebook Live.
We talked to one lady and her daughter, and they were like sitting outside a house that was just gone. And, we're like, was this your house? And they're like, yeah, except that we just moved out and bought a new house. So, we weren't here. None of our stuff was here. And we are like, oh, well, that's good at least. And they were like, but we lost our new house too.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Can you imagine losing both of your homes? That's just
No.
crazy, right? No. Yeah. no.
That's devastating.
Yeah.
Man. I don't like somewhere in America, it must exist. I don't know where it is. Okay. Like every region has its problems. California's got like earthquakes and wildfires, and you got some hurricanes down in the Gulf, and earthquakes in other sections, Tornado Alley. You know, like there's weather issues pretty much everywhere. There's probably one shining beacon of we have no problems. Like it maybe it's like the middle of Nebraska or something like that.
Montana or something. I don't know.
Montana's cold though. Like,
yes, right? Yeah, that sounds like a disaster.
There has to be some place that doesn't get snowstorms, doesn't get hurricanes, doesn't get tornadoes, doesn't have earthquakes, doesn't get wildfires. It has to exist. I just don't know where it might be.
Where that would be.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And oddly enough, no one lives there.
Yeah, right. Why do more people live there? Oh, it's boring.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
Boring.
Yeah.
There's no Walmart.
That's not true. There's a Walmart everywhere.
Oh man, Walmart's a scary one. I can't go there, man.
You can't go to Walmart?
I can't do it because I see that Walmart online.
What if they started selling jiu-jitsu gis?
No, still wouldn't do it.
You know how to defend yourself.
I do, but I just don't want to deal with it.
You're more of a Target person, is that what I'm hearing?
No, I don't go to Target either.
Oh, really? How do you
Home
do your-
Depot. I'll do Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind Home Depot.
And everything else is just Amazon at
Pretty
this point?
much,
Okay.
yes.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Although this sounds so strange, but I realized it over the Christmas because 90% of my shopping was done through Amazon. And generally speaking, like if I'm not in a rush, I'll actually like throw it in the basket, let it sit there for a couple of days, order a whole bunch of stuff all at once, and hope that it actually shows up in the same box. Well, I tried that this season, and apparently they still needed to ship everything from every corner of America.
Okay.
So like I ordered like, I don't know, 15, 20 things in total from Amazon. Many of them little things, mind you, like stocking stuffer type stuff that I was, that I just didn't feel like hunting for at a store and, leaving the comfort of my house. And sure enough, I got like 15, 20 separate boxes. So we had made this decision this year. I'm like, we're not doing wrapping paper. I'm doing away with this tradition of wrapping paper. Instead, I ordered T-shirts and reusable bags, and all the gifts were wrapped in T-shirts and put in reusable bags and whatnot. So I'm like, I'm being so environmentally conscious. I'm awesome. And then all my shit shows up from Amazon with all this excessive plastic packaging material and in tons of cardboard boxes. I'm just like, fail. Yeah.
Yeah,
You just got to stock that stuff. Just reuse it.
Well, yeah, no, like the boxes do get reused pretty well. Okay, sometimes not so quickly.
It's
I
good for
have
starting
stacks and
fires.
stacks of boxes.
Yeah, but I heard those boxes you got to throw them away because sometimes they come with like eggs of like cockroaches on them, so you should probably discard them pretty quickly. Be careful.
Honey, if you're
That's a
listening,
real downer.
Sorry, because those boxes just sit in warehouses, and what's in warehouses but bugs and stuff like that, and they'll lay eggs inside the cardboard. And
honey, if you're listening, I promise I'll throw out all the boxes when I get home.
I throw those out right quick.
Yeah,
Good to know.
So there you go.
Sounds like
All right.
bonfire time.
you were saying they are an excellent source of fire.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Yeah.
There
Don't
you
do it
go.
in California.
No,
Right.
not in
Right.
California. So Javier and I, we did well, not just him and I, but we did an open mat for 155ers and under. Was it like last week? Yeah. And we're doing another one on February 24th. So I haven't rolled with Javi in like a long time. And
whose fault is that?
that's my fault. Yes.
All your fault. I just want to make sure the blame is placed.
So I got to roll with it, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be like, like I remember, like you haven't rolled with someone in a long time. You're like, I remember how it used to be. And it was nothing like it used to be at all. I was pleasantly surprised, because his game is, elevated so much since just being at LCCT so much. It was incredible, man. You pass guard totally differently. Everything was just so nice. I was pleasantly surprised, man. Very, very nice.
Well, thank you. I was actually concerned for your mental well-being because after our roll, you had that sort of blank shell shot
I
look.
did, yeah.
And I was like, oh, did I go too hard on him or something?
Did I just break him?
Yeah.
I've broken my train.
I like roles that are like, more, I don't want to say like, I just only got
Jiu-jitsu-y? Was that the word you were looking for?
I like just more like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Nobody knows where you're going with
Yeah.
this.
Like give
Technical?
and take. Like
Yeah, like more of a technical role. I like to see like not just crush, like just smash, like because you're a bigger guy, just smash through me. Like, okay, you're a big guy. You clearly could just smash me if you wanted to. But like being with someone like our size, and then
Okay,
use
let's
more
see.
technique. That's what I like.
I was
Really,
about to say,
like,
you better not be calling me the bigger guy. You stand
No.
next to me. You're taller than me.
clearly, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you weigh more than me though.
Maybe. Depends on the time of the year.
How many guys did you end up with at that White Feather open mat?
We had
Dozen?
15 plus.
Yeah.
No,
Nice.
it was definitely
That's awesome.
15 plus. I don't remember exactly how
Some
many.
of those guys were definitely on the upper of the 155.
Listen, Tim.
It's Christmas. It's their Christmas White Feather.
Tim definitely promised he's going to enforce the scale rule. I think we had 2 that were over. One of them might just have like a hollow leg, though. I'm not sure. I'm like, listen, he belongs to the host gym. I ain't saying shit if they're not kicking him out. I
Right.
trust that this is his supposed weight class.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna enforce that one a little bit. Does the next location, the next secret location, have the scale, or do I have to bring one from home? That's the question.
Does have a scale.
So yeah.
It does.
So looking forward to that.
And I'm excited for that one too.
Yeah. You guys ever do stuff like that? Like like women's open mats seem to be
Yeah.
like a pretty universal thing.
Right.
Like almost every community seems to have the sense to put those together. But I think we stole the idea from some of the ultra heavyweights. Actually, we're like, yeah, there's only like 4 of us in the Chicagoland area that compete. You know, like we never get to go with guys our size, so we have to get together deliberately. And I was like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Like let's have an open mat where we ban large people because I hate them. And let's see what happens. And it was okay.
My body was a little beat up though. The next day, and it's because I'm just not used to rolling on without an elevated floor.
I thought,
Spoiled.
yeah,
I'm a little
Yeah.
spoiled.
super spoiled.
I'm a
Yeah.
little spoiled. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, man, my back is like, because I play guard still. So I'm like, man, my back's really like beat. I'm like, man, I'm usually not this beat up after 2 hours of rolling. But then I'm like, oh, the mats were just on the floor, like primitive.
Oh wow! Damn.
They're just on the floor.
Shade. Right. Yeah. Do you have an elevated floor, sir?
I know, man.
Are you one of those
for
primitives?
sure spoiled us over there. I'm not gonna lie, we're 100% spoiled. So I was teaching class that on Monday. I'm like, listen, guys, man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little beat up from the mat. I'm just letting you guys know this right now. You better appreciate the elevated floor here.
You got it good.
So much. You guys don't know how good you have it.
Yeah, there's several gyms in the Chicagoland area that I've been to that do have the elevated
Yeah,
floor,
yeah.
but that is certainly not something where I've ever looked at and been like, I can't train here. They don't have an elevated
For
floor.
sure. No, but I'm just saying, I just noticed that how much I was just beat,
much
my
difference it
body
made?
was beat up just because of that.
Yeah, you weren't even doing takedowns, were you?
No, fuck no. Me do takedowns.
Right.
No, I'm not doing that.
I just want to stress, I know I say this periodically, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You are soft, sir.
Yes. That's okay. I'm all right with that. I will pull guard like nobody.
So speaking of academies, you guys, and I don't want to confuse the listening audience, but you guys have, of course, the main academy, but then the other academy has recently moved. Is that my understanding of it?
Yep. So, excuse me. So, Indiana Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy, IBJJ. We've been open. It'll actually be 19 years
Yep.
coming up this March.
Awesome.
We're so old.
We are so old. Oh my god.
Yeah, 19 years running that. And then my first black belt, Matt Strata, he opened his academy at Endurance BJJ about 4 years ago, 4.5 years now. And back this July, so July of 2018, we actually bought it from him. He moved to Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So we bought it from him, and then about 6 months later, so right over our Christmas break, the landlord came and was like, "Hey, I'd love you guys to move. Bigger building, way more money." But
No
it's
free rent.
yeah, no free. He was trying to like double charge me for the month, and I was like, "No." I'm like, "I need 3 free months of rent," so we settled on no free rent. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we moved into a bigger location. It's right on the main road. So we went from having probably 2 or 3 drive-bys a day to probably 30 or 40,000.
Wow.
So yeah, the academy's a lot bigger.
You got to watch your language there. So you said drive-bys earlier in the seminar. You said carjack.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Man.
Ooh,
makes
sounds
me that
aggressive.
sound rough. And this is Zionsville, so it's like super bougie.
Yeah, it's a little bit nicer area.
Right.
But and then I have to brag. I got the most amazing deal ever in the history of amazing deals on mats.
Oh.
Looking
Did
around,
they pay you to take the
That
mats?
would be the
dang
most
near,
but
dang near,
Dang near. I like
So,
this.
I got 13 full-length Dahmer flexi roll mats for $1,500.
What?
So two full-size wrestling mats, right?
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was it went really cool. So one of my affiliates ran a tournament last summer, and he used 7 mats.
Okay.
And he contacts me. He's like, "Hey man, those 7 mats I used are for sale. They want $2,000." And I was like, "Holy crap, that's a great deal." So I contacted the contact person multiple times.
Right.
Email, phone. He would never reply. So one day I just called the community center itself, and I was like, "Listen, I'm trying to give you money. Please take my money." And she's like, "I will absolutely take your money, sir." And I said, "Okay, can you tell me the length of these mats, the width of these mats, and the thickness and the number?" And she's like, "Absolutely." She calls me back about 12 minutes later. She goes, "You should have seen me unrolling that in the closet." She goes, "But I got it measured. It's 42 feet by 6 feet and 1/4 inch, and they're 1 3/4 inches thick."
Wow.
Very thorough.
And there's 10 of them. And I was like, "Oh, so there's 3 more than I thought." And she goes, and originally you told me $2,000. And she goes, "We want $1,500 for them."
I'll be right there.
Right?
Yeah. I was like, "Okay, cool. Don't talk to anyone else."
Right.
Like, matter of fact, just go home for the night. And I'll see you there in the morning. But yeah, I was like, wow, I just got 3 extra mats and $500 less than I was willing to pay for them.
Wow.
So I show up in the morning with one of my students. She brings a big trailer. We get 6 of them out, and she comes down. She's like, "Hey, there's like 6 or 7 more upstairs." And I was like, "I know I do jujitsu, and I'm not like, a mathematician, but 6 plus 6 or 7 is more than 10.
Right.
I was like, "Well, she said and didn't give a definitive number, so maybe it's 4. So I walk up. Sure enough, there's 7 of them up there. So I end up with 13 of these mats.
Jesus.
And I'm like, "Man, it's like over $10,000 in mats, easy." So we go in, we fill out. I'm getting ready to write her a check, and I was like, "Hey, what do I owe you now?" And she's like, $1,500. We just really appreciate you getting them off our hands.
Wow.
I was like, "Cool. If you have anything else you would appreciate me getting off."
Wow. That's so awesome.
So it worked out.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So we only used 5 for the academy, so I have like 8 in storage right now.
Right,
or
right.
online.
You're set.
Or,
Yeah, right. We could have sold them. We probably will rent them out for a while. So
Yeah.
well, yeah.
we have enough to run a tournament. Like,
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Right? Do you guys have that tournament, right?
yeah. So right now we have a great deal with where we run the tournament and stuff. So,
Okay.
like the mats and everything are already there.
Oh, okay.
So we probably won't, as long as we're there. So
But you can utilize
But we
those
could.
mats for something else.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Rent them out, like
Yep.
you said.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
yeah,
What color are they? Blue?
Blue.
Yeah.
which is perfect because the school colors were already blue and gray. So
Man,
yeah,
things just
it's
work
great.
out, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, sometimes they do. Yeah.
it was great.
Jeez. Nice.
Yeah, so been busy with that. 2 academies.
Crazy
and
busy.
Crazy
So
busy.
are you splitting your time between both, or you have someone?
No, so actually, one of my other black belts, Daryl, who was the head coach, kickboxing coach at our Greenwood Academy, right around the time we were buying or even looking at buying the second academy, Endurance, and we were actually kind of leaning toward the no, like
Hard,
just
hard no.
hard no time, man. We're so busy already.
I was going to say, because last time we had talked, you were kind of like, man, never 2 schools.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
While we had talked about it and we had decided, yeah, we want to buy this. Like, let's do it. One of my other affiliates who was he's a purple belt. He was running 3 academies. He calls me and we have this little consultation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like just shut the other 2 down. They're causing all this trouble. Like I spend like an hour convincing him to shut down 2 of his schools. We decide that running 2 academies is just stupid. And then I was like, oh crap.
He gets off the phone and I just look at him. I was like, we're not doing this.
So my other guy, Daryl, he comes to me one night and he's like, hey man, I think I want to open my own school.
Wow.
And
And you're like, have I got a deal for you?
It was funny because so I sit him down. I said, "Hey, man, we're looking at buying Strata School. It's there. It's got everything you need. You don't have to put any money into it. There's students,
All right.
and I'll pay you." And he's like, "Nope, I'm good." And he stands up and he hits the table and he's like, "Keep in mind, this is like one of my best friends, right?" Okay. He hits the table and he goes, "Just let me know if I can help you with anything." And he walks out.
Okay.
And I was like, what the fuck was that about? I was like, I called AJ. I was like, I think I just made Daryl mad. I don't know what's going on. Like he's mad at me for something. I was like, and I'm like, what? Like, okay, how did I approach this wrong? Like, I don't know. And then like an hour later, he shoots me a message. He's like, hey man, like it'd be an honor. I'd love to do it. And he's like, I just wanted to check with the old lady and make sure we were good on everything.
That's his foot.
Did I do that?
That's okay.
I broke it. What'd I do?
It's just underneath their foot there, those two things. You want to just move those?
Technical difficulties.
You know, no one hears this but us.
Oh, okay.
It's just in the.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Just in the
here.
headphones?
Yeah. So if you move those cords there by your foot, like just tap
Me
them.
or?
Oh, it's definitely that one. That's it. Oh, good. Okay.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Are you going to edit that?
Bruno may or may not edit that out.
Yeah.
It's half the fun.
Exactly.
But yeah, so he was real excited. He's doing a great job. The academy's got a new energy to it, and you know, I think
cool.
everybody's really digging. You know, the new coach, and then AJ's actually been teaching in the mornings up there.
Nice.
So we're adding a kickboxing program back in next month, and so yeah,
Jeez.
it's going
Yeah,
well.
It's going really well.
Can't beat that.
We had like 20 some new people come in this week.
Yeah,
So how far is it between the two?
45 minutes,
Yeah.
40, 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's a good.
Yeah,
it's
good distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not not a lot of congestion traffic, right? It's not like.
Yeah,
Can
no,
be.
I mean, it's not bad. It just depends. But, you know, by the time you get up there, because it's not like you're really going during rush hour a lot.
Right.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
mornings I kind of am. I teach 9 a.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. But
Okay.
yeah,
so
it's
I'll
not
tell you,
bad.
I've left my house and driven there, and it's taken me an hour and a half. And then taught class and came home, and it took me 25 minutes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So
I've had that
It can
trip
vary.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
but usually it's about 25, 30 minutes.
What's the
From our
town
house.
called? What's the town?
Zionsville.
Zionsville.
Yeah.
Okay.
The really cool thing about it is that we get a lot of transplants up there.
Is it near
So
a college or something? or-
no, a lot of
growing
like
town.
doctors
Oh,
and
okay.
there's a town right next to it called Whitestown, I think, and
Yep.
they said like the average age in Whitestown is like 31. So like there's a lot of really young people coming in, and so we end up with a lot of like blues and purples and
Right, like-
browns that
Like, yeah, my
transplanted there, yeah,
former
so-
academy was here
Yeah.
in this state.
Then I
now
moved,
I'm
and
here.
yeah, so
Does it have a kids
Did the
program also?
Google?
yeah, of
Beautiful.
course,
Yeah. That's nice.
yeah,
Man.
Yeah, Zito loves a kids program, because that's how he gets those under 155ers.
right,
Exactly.
yeah, someone to roll with.
Master of my domain. Speaking of expansion and affiliates and whatnot, Aaron's off. He's got his own academy now too, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Johnson, that is.
Yep. Yeah, so he opened Indiana Combat Grappling. It's a
Like a wrestling academy.
wrestling academy. And he's got some like what do they call that? It's like kind of the Olympic version.
It's the USA Grappling.
Yeah, the
It's
USA
like
Grappling.
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's doing
that.
that
Greco
down
and
there.
freestyle. Then.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I thought, I thought he was doing jiu-jitsu, wrestling,
Yeah.
hybrid mostly.
Yeah, no, mostly a lot of the wrestling. He's got a huge kids program down there.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
How many world champions have you produced at this point? My God, man.
Jeez, I've got two.
I put him on the
two
spot.
in the
Sorry.
room right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Guys.
Okay, you think about
I
that.
don't know. Yeah.
I would say we're close to 10.
Yeah.
Probably. Got Aaron, Chris, Nick,
Butch.
Butch.
Yeah.
Nikki was with us when she won.
Nikki just got her black belt.
Yeah,
right?
she did. Yeah.
right.
I think everyone
Awesome.
involved with that was super, super proud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been putting in some just hella hard work. Just
Yeah, she always has. She's always had a great work ethic. Like,
Right,
and
right.
she really started the women's program in Indiana. Like, she really started getting us all together for open mats and stuff like that. So
Huh.
it really, yeah,
I believe I was unaware of that detail.
yeah. No, she really started bringing the women together. So
Good on her.
yeah,
Yeah, no. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, no one is shocked by this at all.
no,
You know, seems perfectly timed. In fact,
yeah,
so
it's awesome.
yeah.
Wonder how it is like training out there with Andre Gaval.
It's probably hard.
Yeah.
So
Amazing
crushing
and
at
exhausting.
times.
It's gotta be that, like a room like that hanger and
Yeah,
fuck. Man.
Do you ever watch like the Atos Online videos that
I don't.
Gaval and the
No.
man?
They're scary.
Yeah.
Are they?
I don't
Well, I
know.
mean, like some of the, like. Well, anyhow,
There you go.
yeah, like people have occasionally approached me when I'm going over something that I think is basic as shit,
Yeah.
and they're like, "This is pretty complicated," you know. I'm like, "No, it's not. Like, this is like 3 moves strung together. You just only know part 1 and not part 2 and 3 or
Yeah.
some combination like that. I'll watch like an Andre Galval video, and it's like 47 moves long. To like, it's like this, like, and I'm not necessarily saying that in a bad way. It's just like it's a lengthy sequence
Right.
of movements, and I'm like, all right, I knew how to do the leg drag that he started with,
Right.
and I am otherwise like just freestyling from here and hoping I get it right. Yeah, like some amazingly detailed, very cool stuff. Like what's he call the move they were working on recently? It's like the pretzel bolo or something like that, and it's like it's a variation on a berimbolo that involves like entangling the legs, and it results in a different path to the back than
Okay.
like than a, dare I say it, traditional berimbolo.
Right.
It's a little bit more stacky and whatnot, but it was very cool and everything. But I'm just like, yeah, this is like, I don't have the foundation yet to even start really consuming what he's putting down here. And that's now my impression of what every class is like.
How it all is.
Yeah, Nikki or Hinger can confirm that, I'm sure, at some point. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just gotta be. I mean, to do jujitsu like full time like that, doing 2 days, it's just what a
2 a days.
yeah, that's
Right,
funny.
yeah.
as you
It's
said.
like 8 a days, I think.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gotta be what a life, man. It's gotta be great.
Oh, yeah.
California.
And I mean, Hinger killed it at No-Gi Worlds. That was just an amazing
Third year
set
in a
of,
row.
Yeah, set of performances, I should say.
Yeah. Incredible.
His match with Mateus was insane.
Oh yeah, the whole place was
Yeah.
just going crazy for that one.
So good.
Yeah. Did I see a picture of Gordon Ryan next to Andre Galval? Like, is that going to happen? I thought I saw
There was
something.
some Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Back and
trash
forth.
talk.
Kind of heard a little bit about that.
Yeah, I didn't
But
follow
that's
it.
not
real-
nothing like that's not.
That's
No.
that's nothing yet as of my last trip to the internet to look at it. Okay, so like I've been away from the internet jiu-jitsu community for in excess of 12 hours. Who knows what could have happened? But yeah, so if I remember this correctly, I think I'm getting this right. Like, Gordon's walking around calling him the king, and Galval is like, like, hey, I'm the real king.
Oh, is that right?
And then, very rapidly, shots fired back and forth a
Yeah.
little bit. We're talking about like, I think Gordon like said he'd put like $50,000 on the line, or something like that. And then Andre was like, I'll double that. And then Gordon's like, I'll meet you, winner take all. So we're talking about like a potential pot of like $200,000 on this grappling match that they're. Yeah, and Gordon's like, I'll beat you any day, any no-gi rule system you want, EBI, ADCC, IBJJF, doesn't matter.
Wow.
Yeah, so
It's
like,
crazy.
yeah, it's fairly intense. And then Kyle Tera got involved in
he's
some
gonna fight
other
them both?
No.
It's kind of tiny.
some other internet beef thing with Gordon. So she's like, oh, Gordon, so busy right now, so busy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Gordon Ryan, man, putting it out there, huh?
Dude, he's so good though.
He's so
Yeah,
good.
he's
so good.
I mean,
He is annoyingly good.
The thing is, man, like when you talk to that guy, he's so super
no.
nice, super quiet. Like
Yeah.
he gets it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he's on all the shows, he's making all the money, he's
Yeah.
doing all the things that all the other guys want to do. Just because he's not
personality.
even running his mouth. He's like running his thumbs. Right.
Exactly.
For sure,
It's
he's
his thumbs.
He's just texting trash talk.
and he's puts his
And, yeah,
he does
that's
it.
That's the key.
Right.
That's really the
Yeah.
key.
He's not AJ Agazam, whatever his name is, and then talks a lot of shit, and then he loses all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Gordon's smoking people,
For the most part,
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
except Felipe
like-
Pena.
except for
That's the only one. I don't hear him talking shit about that guy.
And that's the hysterical thing that I forgot, because somewhere in the comments on that Instagram beef between him and Galval,
Yeah.
Pena came on. He's like, I got winner.
Nice. Awesome.
Nice.
I like that
I
guy.
mean, who's beating him right now?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating.
But no. So I said this last podcast. We were just kind of talking about No-Gi Worlds. But back me up, or perhaps you guys were in a different section and saw it differently.
Saw none of it.
Damn it. So I know for a fact that every time I saw Gordon, he was just dressed in either his competition gear or like sweatpants or something like that. Despite the sheer number of photos that were apparently taken of him walking around in the crown.
yeah.
And
Oh, that's
Did
the
you
only
guys-
thing I saw him in.
He wore that.
You
he
guys saw
wore
it a
that
bunch.
the day
literally.
before he competed. So the day he
That's
wasn't
where it was.
competing,
Okay.
he was walking around wearing that.
That's the detail.
Yep.
So that was like
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
He was okay.
So
Yep.
he was walking around in his Burger King outfit.
Yeah.
The day
Yes.
before. He was
No shirt.
no shirt.
Just rippling muscles.
Have it your way.
Maybe that's going to be his future. You
Yeah,
never know.
if he gets that sponsorship, we'll never hear the end of him.
Never.
You can have it your way, but don't
I mean,
be
I don't know
crazy.
why they haven't even approached him yet. He could be on those commercials. He could be like,
Wait,
you
why?
know,
The Burger King?
Yeah,
Right.
for
The new
sure.
Burger King doesn't give a shit about Nogi Worlds.
They should.
They should. Gordon Ryan, that'd be hilarious. That would be awesome. Doesn't Gordon Ryan have like a media person that can like reach out to these people and say, "Hey, we got an idea for you"?
I mean, I think it's his Brazilian girlfriend.
oh, is that it?
Yeah, no. It's probably Jeffrey Chu, honestly, but I'm not sure if that's accurate. Might be though.
Well, they should get on that.
So yeah, I did see him wearing that. For
Okay,
sure.
so it happened all
Yes.
on Friday, apparently.
Yep.
There we go. That explains the vast discrepancy over my experience of no,
Right.
I haven't seen him in it even once versus there's 4 million pictures showing that I'm clearly wrong. Okay, so yeah, he had a good 24 hours of being in his regalia, his royal regalia
Yeah,
/ Burger King outfit.
that's what I think of when I see it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Well, okay,
absolutely.
granted, I think he started off with the paper Burger King crown back in the day, and then like upgraded it to cheesy plastic, and now it's less cheesy plastic.
Now it's real gold and rubies.
Oh god, heavy as the head. Heavy as the head that wears the crown.
Javier, you mentioned after the podcast last time about the conversation you had before going into your match at Nogi Worlds that you had with Mineko.
I have no recollection of it. Was what you
Of course,
No.
it was nice. It was a nice thing, and I know you said you wanted to mention it.
Yeah, no. So, and I'm going to try not to screw it up this time because it is now 2019, and last time I had said like last year, referencing 2017, and just confused everyone. So at 2017, okay, Nogi Worlds, as a fresh brown belt, I went.
I cornered you,
You were
for
there to corner
about
me?
half of one of your matches.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
left you because you were doing terribly.
I was doing awful.
was like, stop sucking. Bye.
Yeah. Goodbye. Later. to be fair, all I really wanted from him was to yell out the time, because I'm fucking
You've
blind
been
and can't.
sucking for 2.5 minutes. I'm going to coach someone who will listen.
Right. Somebody who will listen or is maybe good. Yeah. So yeah, that was apparently my first problem is I chose the wrong corner.
should have asked me. I'll yell your time for you.
In all fairness, I had like 17 students compete.
Right? No. Yeah. To be serious for a minute, like I was like, oh God, I need a corner suddenly, and I'm like, hey James, can you help me out here? He's like, yeah, sure, and he did the best he could with what he had.
Yes.
That was one of my probably worst performances ever, and I was miserable.
Yeah.
Okay, and to add to the misery of it, and this probably sounds cocky in retrospect, but it was like, man, I'm a Nogi guy in my mind, like that's my real focus, and I did way better at Masters Worlds in the gi. Sure, it was a purple belt, but a bunch of these guys got promoted like the same day, probably.
Right.
Like I literally saw somebody get promoted on the stand at that tournament. So I was just like, "Ugh, man, this is depressing. Like I was really down on myself. I was hungry, so I went to the podium to collect my congratulations for sucking bronze medal. And while I was standing there, Mineko was there. I think Kaio at the time was also getting his medal, and we started chit chatting, and I was just super down on myself, and I was like, man, I just I trained super hard for this. I just came off winning Combat Wrestling Worlds, which is a different Nogi tournament. I came in here super confident, and I got destroyed. This is terrible. This is the worst match of my life. And he looks at me and he's like, if you love it and you stick with it, eventually it'll come. And he just kind of walked off.
Make that to a plaque.
Yeah, exactly. And I really needed to hear that right then and there. That was the coach move
Yeah.
to say, and he's not even like my coach. He's just, he's your coach, and
Right.
he's, I'm friendly with him and everything. But like, it was absolutely what I needed to hear. And going into Nogi Worlds this year, that the loss of last year and his words to me were like definitely like a major driving inspiration.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was also it was a very chill out moment for me because I don't want this to sound negative at all, but like Mineko himself, is absolute proof positive of, stick with it, like you're going to struggle sometimes starting off, but if you just stick with it, it's going to eventually come to you. Just put in the work, keep at it, don't get frustrated with the losses and the setbacks. And, like, look at the tear he's been on, over how many years now is it?
Yeah.
So, and he wasn't like, phenom from white belt to black belt.
Right.
It took time for him to get there. So yeah, that was very much in my mind that, not like I was going in like, oh, well, it's okay if I lose.
Right.
But, it was like, let's put a little less pressure on ourselves this time. Yes, I trained super hard and I studied the rules because the last time I fought IBJJF, I got penalized and lost a match on just my own stupidity. So, like I was prepared. I wasn't as hungry. That was a little added bonus there of having to move up a weight class. And everything ultimately came together. But that was very much on my mind. And, I unfortunately didn't get an opportunity to say thank you to him live and in person at Nogi Worlds this year. But I would have liked to have.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have you out for a seminar by us one of these days.
Super cool.
Yeah. So I was talking to
Nice.
the guys today about it. Do a little no-gi.
I was going to teach you like I feel like my guard work is what you most likely want
Yeah,
to bring me
that's
out
exactly
for.
what I want.
Guard and guard passing.
Yeah. Your triangles.
No, you're not convincing anyone of that one.
I bet they're really tight.
They are, when I'm choking a child.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you can relate, right?
Joel, not much of a triangle guy?
No.
What's your game like?
Smash.
Smash.
Like
You look like a smasher.
You're saying that
You look like a smasher.
a man with a nickname of Baby Silverback is not like just like a cartwheel guard passer, or
It was funny because James, we had talked this morning. He was like, I might have you show something. Be prepared. So I was like, okay, I'm good to go. And then there were several in there that I had already run through my head that I was probably going to if you had me.
Oh,
That
stuff I taught?
you had
Nice.
already did. So he was like,
Slowly
now I got a regain plan.
right, slowly eroding your possible techniques.
So, but yeah, a lot of I was a wrestler in high school,
Yeah.
and then getting way after high school because I was powerlifting when I first started training. So I was like 205, 210 pounds.
Jesus, it's
At
just
5'5".
You're 5'5".
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, and I mean, I just had to realize that I had to start dropping weight and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, it's always been because I was physically strong and I knew how to use it because of my wrestling,
Yeah.
and it just transferred over when I started training. So I got told we were talking about this earlier. AJ and I said I come off the mat after one of my matches. Said you got a big guy's game and a little guy's body.
Right.
Like I want to take you down. I want to smash you. I want to pass your guard,
Yeah.
choke you.
He
So-
does have a good bottom game though, too. Don't let him act.
Don't
like he
sleep on that
doesn't.
bottom game.
Yeah.
That was really hard as a wrestler to
Adapting to bottom.
to make myself. You have to make yourself do it. Or I was like, I needed to be more well rounded. So it was like purple belt.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I have to do this now.
Right.
So I just, hey, coach, tonight can we do some sweep pass or submit? Because I knew most of the time I'm going to get the pass in class, and then now the hard part is in order for me to, I treated it like a game. In order for me to get my reward, which is my top game, I have to get a sweep.
Right.
So in order for me to have
Forces
fun,
you to work on it, yeah.
forced me to work on it. So now I most of the time in training, I'll
Guard pulling? You're gonna say you guard
yeah, for sure. Even in a couple of matches,
You got him, sir.
Where I really, where the takedowns are really even helped me win a match in where was that, Nashville Open? Yeah, helped me win my opening match. Towards the end of it, I pulled and got to work busy right away, which gave me the advantage for a
Decision.
referee's decision.
Right.
Thank you.
What do you walk around at right now?
175, 180 pounds.
He's fought as low as 145 MMA.
I didn't like him at 145.
Look like a
Wasn't a
road
good
map.
look.
That's rough.
It's,
Looked a little like Gollum.
anatomy chart.
He had a nice sweep in up here in Chicago Open with the that real big guy.
Oh, the ultra heavyweight.
Yeah.
Off the spider guard
Yeah.
and lapel drag.
Yep.
Yeah, I worked spider guard. That was hilarious. It's the only time I think I've ever even came close to using it in a tournament. The guy was huge, and he foot swept me and put me on my butt, and I was like, and then he reached back with one of his arms. I was like, immediately my foot's in his bicep.
Yeah.
And I'm a collar drag, and I drag him by, and I'm back up on top, and I got my 2.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but
Did you win in the match?
no, that was our first
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
He got
he
some.
grabbed that toe hold and
Yeah, when he's got, you know how it is when they have dinner plates for hands. and
Yeah.
they grab your foot.
Yeah.
And I'm brittle most of the time, anyways.
But you're at what, Master 4?
Master 4.
4,
Yeah, I competed as low as 2 last year.
Okay.
So just to get a few more matches. So, but yeah, Master 4, and actually got to face him later on that summer.
yeah.
Because I went to Neon Belly him, and he popped me up and got me some funky little footlock. And I immediately looked at James. I was just like, man, that will never, ever happen again. So we went back, and I thought about, he would provide a great training motivation because I really wanted to beat this big dude because I knew I could.
What's
And
he
then
out
it's-
of? What gym's he out of?
I don't recall at all.
Several, last I knew it was Carlson, but I heard,
It's the Midwest.
I
That's a
don't
safe
know.
bet
I
anyhow.
heard
Yeah.
yeah, I know there's been several, but as soon as we locked up, my first thought was, "You're fucked." And I put him on his back. I passed his guard. He scrambled around. I put him back. I took him down again. I passed his guard again. Smashed him. He turned. I choked him. Used my lapel. Nice little lapel choke that I liked. And it was great, man. That was a revenge match.
Nothing so
Especially
sweet
when
as
they're
revenge.
that much bigger
Oh, yeah.
than us.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm a middleweight. What do you?
You said
How
than
big-
us. You were
Yeah,
us.
there's
They're
no
not.
one here your size.
Well, I mean, like, he's my height, though.
I mean, I walk on 136.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm probably about 142 today.
I forget
143.
how wide I am sometimes.
Well, yeah, like I'm a bonobo. Okay, you're the
guy in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, you are. You're by far the heaviest one in here. Oh, little guy.
I forget, though, but it just, you know,
very
scale doesn't lie. Yeah.
very well compacted.
Girthy.
Yes.
Girthy.
I wouldn't expect you to say it again. You have to bring it back up.
That would be a great rash guard, actually. Like,
You could pull that one off for sure. For sure.
That's fantastic.
No one's going to say shit to you.
What? I don't get it, guys.
That's good. So you got. So what's next for you? What next? Europeans you do out
Rest.
there or no?
Yeah, right now. I've been dealing with my shoulder for a couple years.
Okay.
And it got really bad. It got worse a couple months ago, and then it got really bad last Saturday. I had a super fight, and not only was he a jiu-jitsu black belt, he was a judo black belt.
Okay.
So, and it was, you know, I told everybody afterwards, you know, he was brand new because that was our third match against the guy. You know, we're friends. We've even trained together a few times, but he was brand new when he came in this time. His grips felt different. His movement, he was coming a lot harder than he had before. So it was a really tough match. He won this last one. So the shoulder is a lot worse, man. That was a really physical, tough. Had a actually avoided a takedown, come up and a scramble. Just arm got out in a funky way and went dead in the middle of it. And now I really need to get it fixed. It's been way too long.
Yeah.
It's been way too long.
And he's been competing.
Yeah, training
all the
competing,
IBJJFs. He's been pulling all these super fights and
swinging kettlebells and swinging
kettlebells
maces
and getting hurt every day, every training session, every tournament. And like, stop.
I don't see what the problem is.
Under
Just
us.
continue on that
It's
path.
fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. That's what. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
That's what we all do. That's it.
So I said I was going to redline it till it crashed, and then just kind of crashed. So.
Yeah.
And it's bad enough. I need to be able to use it and go to work and everything. So
Yeah. What you do with your
hit my
daytime?
wall. I'm a welder by trade.
Hey,
all
all right.
right. So nothing that involves working with your hands.
Right.
or-
Nothing.
Yeah, it's
Nothing.
fine.
No picking up steel all day long or anything
Arc,
like that.
MIG, TIG,
I can do all
of
of them.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
What do you normally work with?
We do a lot of MIG, so we're doing a lot of mild steel right now.
All right.
A lot of heavy duty conveyor systems for like Ford and GM,
Oh,
stuff like
excellent.
that. It's got like a 4,000 pound weight limit. Tilting tables, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So that you got to do all the chamfering of all the steel, or is it all pre-done? You're just laying the beam.
They come out pre-cut
Nice.
to us, and then
And
we
you just
put them
lay
together
the
and weld
beam.
it out. Yep.
Nice.
Look at you with all your fancy welding
Right.
terms.
Well, I used to be a machinist.
Is this side of you I was not
Okay.
aware
We
of?
have a machine shop, so
Oh
in
yeah,
fact, so.
yeah. So welding. I mean, I had to take my stress test for welding, arc, MIG, TIG. We had to do all that stuff. Brazing. Yeah, I loved it. That was in the '90s. I don't do that anymore. I work computers
Yeah.
now.
Once again,
But I love it. I love it. I actually went out and bought one, a little, those, what's that really inexpensive?
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight. So I'm like, exactly. I'm like, man, I miss welding so much. I'm going to go buy myself a little fucking
small
arc welder.
welder.
What a piece of crap that thing was. I couldn't do shit. I'm like, man, have I lost it? I'm like, oh no, this thing just
I mean, it's also
sucks.
possible that you have lost it. It
No,
could
I
be a
don't think so.
combination.
I don't think so. I think that thing, I just threw it away. It was garbage. It was like
in the
150
90s?
bucks, if that.
How old are you?
43.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'd have gone with like 33.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
He's well maintained.
Yeah.
Well maintained. Well maintained. Good genes.
Nice.
But yeah, I miss it. I love welding. One of my clients, they own a fabricating shop, and he's
Nice.
got a lot of robotic welders as well as the manuals. But it's everything went CNC. Not a lot of people doing handmade lathing anymore. Or milling. It's unfortunate. But we work with a guy I used to work with was Portuguese, and he had 2 nubs on his fingers. He's just gone. This guy was just a gorilla. Like, you just grab metal all day long. He had the hands like that. Just
They look like watered up baseball
yeah,
bats.
that's what it was exactly. just sausages, and he would just make parts like unbelievable. What a brain, man! What he put together, you're just like, what the fuck? Precise.
It was a black belt in machining.
Black belt machining. Yeah, Frank Santana. What a great guy.
You should get him into jiu-jitsu, see what he does with collar chokes.
Yeah, I would be nervous if he did jiu-jitsu. He would be. I mean, he's got to be in his late 60s, early 70s, maybe older. I don't know.
Man,
But-
this one guy I used to know, Phil. He did like Japanese jiu-jitsu, mind you, but he did jiu-jitsu, and by trade he was actually like a like a gardener, and he just had these like massively powerful, perpetually weathered hands, and you get those mitts on you, and you're just like, it's over.
Yeah.
I give up.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, but that's good. It's good. I love that stuff. Love it.
You can always tell when you train with somebody that's been in a trade, like an iron worker
Yeah.
or something like that. As soon as they grab your gear, like,
Yeah.
it's that attention mark in your head. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, back in '97, first Gracie Nationals out in California. My last match. This little guy, Cornelius Drain. He was a bricklayer, and I remember exactly what you're talking about, Joel. Like, he grabbed my gi, and I was just like, "Oh, you just have my lapel and it hurts." I was like, why do I feel pain? And man, like, I don't remember. I'm pretty good at remembering like matches and things that happened, how it went down, like, and I don't remember any of this match other than like, it felt like a Tom and Jerry cartoon when like, the mouse gets big, it's just like boom, boom, left it. Like he chipped like 3 of my teeth in the match, and like it was. I remember sweeping him and mounting him at one point, and then him just like, whoa, like throwing me off. I was like, oh, this is terrible. And man, it was bad. It wasn't my last match, because I remember I fought my friend Joe right after that. And I couldn't raise my arm. Like, I was like sweating and broken, and my mouth was bleeding, and I couldn't lift my right arm. And my buddy Joe had been sitting there for hours because he had one match with like some teenage kid. And
He's all relaxed.
he's super
rested.
relaxed, and he's like, let's just go to the ground so we don't get hurt standing. I'm like, shut up. James Pedro Valente was like, no talking. Jiu-jitsu. Like, why? And then he beat me. He beat me that day, 3-2.
Wow.
That guy never beat me ever in training. And then we stayed together. And then we flew home together, and I was just like, I hate you. Just get out of my face. So bad.
Oh man.
I was like an older judo guy too, down at the Louisville Eagle that that I had to fight twice. Had met this dude in the stands. He was. I found out there's only one guy in my division, and it had been the guy I'd been talking to, the older gentleman.
Okay. You were unintentionally working
Yes.
the Zito game on him.
And
Making
we go
friends.
to walk out for the first match, and I got this guy. And my very first thought was, this might not be so bad. He was taller, salt and pepper hair, and that was my first mistake. I underestimated my opponent, and then he grabbed my gi.
You're like,
I
oh,
was like,
he's done this before.
this guy was like a national level judo player, and
You were a
it
blue
went-
belt at the time,
yeah,
right?
it was a blue belt match,
Yeah.
and it just threw me on my head.
I was like, Joel, stop. Judo doesn't work. Just don't lay
Stop
him.
enabling him.
Don't limp.
You're giving him false hope. No.
Okay, he threw you. Now you're on the ground.
Those were hard throws.
Yeah, they were. I just remember like, oh God. Joel's hard to take down. I think I threw him far. I felt the impact.
It's one of the things. So I am used to, bearing in mind that like Tony's my wrestling coach, so you've experienced this before. Where
Cicchini.
Tony Cicchini, where you shake hands with him and it's like
I don't like shaking hands with him.
exactly, yeah.
Fist bump
rather not.
only. That's it. I fist bumped that guy.
And that's kind of been my experience throughout my life, where most big guys that have like a massive grip strength, like
heavy hand.
yeah, they're not trying to be dicks all the time, but they're gonna give you a good firm handshake, and because they're so goddamn strong, it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Okay, so I've gotten used to that. So, and I have two different guys like this at one gym, and this one time I meet this one guy, and he gives me this gentle like pampered handshake.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, this soft motherfucker. You know, it's like, and then we match up, and I found out that he's like a national level judo player back in Poland,
Okay.
and the grip that he takes with a handshake is nothing like his gi grip. It's just like this unbreakable, immovable object of a grip. And then we've got this one guy who's like, he just beastly huge,
Yeah.
also very soft and gentle because he doesn't want to break you handshake. You know, he's very, very polite like that. But then again, like he gets hands on you and it's like, oh, like the pressure and pain. So yeah, I've learned not to even judge, because like that was like a thing I thought I could reliably do.
Right.
Like you shake hands with a man, and if it's a good, firm, strong handshake, they're probably going to be a rough judo player. But no, these guys have deceived me completely. They have the gentlest, kindest handshake and the most brutal grips ever.
Yeah.
Just-
I'm not a fan of the hard shaker.
Oh my God.
I can't do it.
I had this dad at the
So
school shake my hand like kids' first, second day in class, and I was like, oh, I'm Coach AJ. And the dad hit me so hard to shake my hand that I stumbled. Like, I was like, okay, all right, I'll be prepared next time. I'll take a stance.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't do it because I train so much. My hands are always just, there's,
Yeah.
They're sore.
they're sore. I'm just like, last thing I want to do is you don't squeeze, because I need it for my grip. Because I
Right.
like, I just got to
Because you like that gi so
like
much.
that gi, right? So when I shake someone's hand, and this is outside jiu-jitsu in real life, and I'm just like, dude, do not squeeze my, and then they fucking squeeze. I'm like, I just want to choke you right now. I just want to choke you so bad because you're squeezing my hand. I just like,
You got to
oh,
develop the
fuck.
technique, man. You got a better defensive handshake.
It's not so much that with me; it's when they beat you to the punch and they only
they get
get
the
the
fingers.
ends of your fingers
yeah.
and then
a
try to
good
gorilla
move.
hand it. It's like you know exactly what you
Yeah,
just did.
That was an aggressive move there.
Yeah.
I got to wrist lock you now.
There you go.
That'd be awesome.
I just always expect them to kiss my hand after that. Like when they grab the tips of the fingers, like, just turn my palm down and kiss it.
I would start wearing a ring, like a big one, just for that purpose.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one. So what else is going on?
Just grips. Nothing
Just
but grips.
grips?
Yeah.
You guys staying here tonight again?
Nah,
No, we're heading home tonight.
You're heading back tonight?
Yeah.
In the snowstorm.
In the snowstorm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure, why not?
shit.
It's fine.
Are we going
This is
to
the theme of the day, hasn't it?
Are we
Yeah.
doing some technique after this?
Yeah, sure.
Are we?
Yeah, we're not in a hurry. We
Oh, you're
just,
gonna be
you
sure?
know.
I mean, I
Oh
don't
yeah,
want.
it doesn't matter.
What's the,
We're
it's
good.
like 3 hours, right? Three and a
Yeah.
half?
Dude, we
Casuals.
never even go to bed until like 1.
Right, okay.
I mean, this guy's
what's a bed?
he goes to bed earlier, but he can sleep in the car.
Because I'm old as
He's got
shit.
a job.
Yeah, because he has to get up early. It's,
You work on Sundays?
no,
No,
he
no,
just
Monday through
crashes
Friday.
early.
All right, good.
Yeah, just it does. You know, as you get older, you naturally fall asleep sooner.
Yeah.
and you wake up earlier.
Yeah.
I've been up since before the sun came up.
Yeah, I just
So this
I just
morning-
don't sleep. That's
I
been
don't
my
know
solution.
what the fuck is going on with you, man. I can't.
Yeah, I sleep so
I don't
much.
understand. This guy
I get-
works out. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. It's incredible.
I mean, eventually it may catch up to me.
Yeah,
many hours
I hadn't slept well in, I mean, honestly, like 8 years. I really just, I don't sleep. Every time James moves, I'm like, are you okay? Like I'm checking on him. Like, and I started taking hypno sleep. It's like
that?
a
From Origin
Origin
Labs.
Yeah, it's an Origin supplement, but it's stupid. Changed my life.
What?
Like, I mean, I legit like have had insomnia for like 8 years, and I sleep. I usually wake up before my alarm. Like, it's amazing. Like, no, I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not, like, I buy
I
the
am.
supplements. But really, like it is completely
So
changed my
what is
life.
it? What is it? Just a pill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
supplements. Got like some tart cherry juice and I think probably valerian and
does
the
have some valerian in it.
The flower. What's the flower?
Lavender?
Lavender.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
None of these things sound like things I want to eat.
well, you don't chew it. You
It's
just,
just
you
a
take
yeah,
some
it's
more.
just a capsule.
But yeah, and like it's same. Like
It's
I'm
stupid.
like a
It's-
10-hour a night sleeper. Like
Okay.
I sleep a lot, and same thing. Like we started taking it, and I mean, I was waking up like 2 hours before the
it
alarm
took
would
us
go off, and
like
I
a
was
few
what?
days to figure out what was going
Why?
on. Like, why do we keep
So does it
waking up?
help you conk out, or does it just make like a more restful sleep?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I wake up awake.
Or, huh?
Like I don't wake up groggy anymore.
Okay.
Like,
Well, that's good.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's very nice. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where do you get these at?
He seems to say.
Well, I'm sure James could probably
Yeah,
connect
tell
you,
us-
but
tell us
Where can we
all
get these,
about
James?
Origin.
OriginMaine.com.
OriginMaine.com.
Maine?
Probably Origin Labs. Yeah, Maine,
Probably.
like the state.
Yeah.
Okay, like the state.
Yeah. But no, really good stuff.
And I would like to point out during the seminar today, you were in an Origin rash guard.
I was
It quite
wearing
spiffy
Yes.
looking.
Yes.
1776 Origin rash guard.
Which
I'm
I
also wearing a endurance Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu hoodie made by Origin,
Excellent.
and my pants here are Origin pants,
that I did not realize at all.
Right?
made in America.
America. Tell us more about this Made in America brand.
I didn't know Origin, they do supplements
Yeah,
as well as.
Yeah.
So I believe
so-
they bought Q5 a couple years back, and then rebranded as Origin, and then Jocko Welling. So they've got the Jocko like Malk, and he's got Joint
Joint
Warfare and the Krill Oil and the Discipline. So the Discipline's kind of a pre-workout, but it's a low caffeine. But yeah, so like Origin, they just bought a new warehouse to store all their supplements and stuff, and they've got a really good supplement line. Brian Littlefield from Origin he knows some stuff about supplements and whatnot.
Nice.
But I don't know what kind of degrees he has or what. But
Right. Possible just backyard chemist. But
Yeah, who knows? But
yeah, so it's all their stuff's great, and they really actually care about quality and good stuff.
yeah, I've been
Origin camp end of the year.
I was gonna lead into that. So you did the last Origin camp,
Yes.
and Josh Bassini and Jake from Fight Chicks were there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake and Josh were hanging out.
Yeah, had a
What's
good-
the Origin
had a-
camp?
Amazing. That's what it
Amazing.
It's
is.
so good that you asked that.
Because you guys, I want to be in the know. I don't feel like I'm in the know. What is it?
Yeah, so Pete Roberts, owner of Origin, they put together a immersion camp. And what it is, it's 8 days long. You can either buy 4 days at the beginning, 4 days at the end, or you can buy the entire week. And it's like 3 training sessions a day. They supply you with all the food, the cabins, everything. But this year they had between the whole week and the 2 sessions, there were over 300 people there. So like they brought in a bunch of like black belt experts. So like Dedeco, who's co-owner of Origin, I believe. Alexei Cruz, like was he 5th degree, 6th degree?
I think maybe 5th.
Yeah.
Under De La Hiva,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he was like De La Hiva's like first white to black belt or something. Like, man, so many guys. Hoffa from down ATT. Jocko was teaching. Dean Lister was teaching.
And James Clingerman.
James Clingerman.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
The Clingerman?
The Clingerman.
The Clingerman.
Clingerman.
So I'm going to interject here a little bit and say, like, no offense to any of the rest of the guys, but James was their favorite. Like,
Star of the show.
oh my God. They just love James. So, like, Nicole Beach, who works for Origin, and Brian both came up to me at different times and were like, everybody that said so-and-so has been my favorite coach has said James.
Wow,
like, they
that's
all,
nice.
like, just, they loved James. And, like, we had an off day in the middle. Like kind of where they're, you know, like the one campers are leaving, new campers are coming in, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So there was no training that day. It was, you know, go out and explore. And some of the guys were like, hey, would you run a session, whatever. So we just put out there, you know, like James will run a session either in the morning or at night. And we can either do this or we can do this. And the votes were like split 50-50. So he taught in the morning. We went on a stupid, insane hike, and then he taught in the evening again. But, yeah,
Jesus
so-
hike.
where was
it was
it at?
more of a climb. It was like
It was more
straight
of a
up a
climb.
mountain, like
Yeah.
2 miles.
Yeah, it was
we almost
ridiculous.
died 4 times.
Where
it was
was
crazy.
in Maine.
in Maine.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
in Maine. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
Is it going to be again this year?
yeah,
We do it
so
every
it's the
year.
last weekend or the last week of August into like Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
So I competed at Masters Worlds on Saturday, and then we took a red eye into Origin camp, and camp started Sunday morning. So
Oh, wow.
it was
So
exhausting, but
we were in
awesome.
California like pretty
Very
much the
busy.
whole week. We had
Not
guys
California, Vegas.
Vegas.
Yep.
That's why I said booby traps. So yeah, we had guys competing Master Worlds, Vegas Open Gi, Vegas Open Nogi, Vegas Kids International, whatever they
Yeah,
called that.
all of
like
it.
all of it. So we were out like out of Indiana like 3 weeks almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, out in Vegas, and then flew up to Maine.
It's a wild change in temperature and
yeah.
scenery, isn't it?
Yeah,
It was
scenery
actually
especially.
very nice in Maine though while we were there.
Yeah.
It only
Well, end of
got
August,
cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Like probably the third night. We
So you-
had to go get more clothes.
So you stay on like campgrounds?
Yeah, so it's like a summer camp thing because the summer
Okay.
camp's over and it's a really nice summer camp.
Super nice. It's like 200 and something acres, and they have
wow.
they have like 64 acres or something like that actually has like stuff on it. Like
It's on
cabins
a
and stuff.
lake, so like during lunch we go swimming, or you know, like it
So they
was-
provide like, is it cafeteria style food or?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
pretty
but it's
good.
good.
Okay.
And then one night each session they do 400 lobster.
What?
you can eat as many lobsters
Yeah,
as you
that's all
want.
you can eat, and then
One guy ate 14.
Wow.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
I had like 1.5.
yes, yeah.
Damn.
Yep. Yeah, but it was amazing. And then from there we went to Boston, and he did some filming with Bernardo, and went and trained at a few places out there. So it was
Yeah,
Is there a product coming out of that soon?
I'm not sure.
I mean, because I saw
What
the.
I'm allowed
I
to
saw the-
talk about?
Okay, yeah. Contractually obligated. Got it.
So we did not technically put a product out. We just did some just kind of preview filming.
Promo type
So
stuff.
yeah,
Right.
BJJ Fanatics carries like my DVDs and stuff. So we filmed like a Peruvian necktie. We filmed a Von Flu thing. And I filmed some other Von Flu videos with him. So
Right. Yeah, I saw some of the YouTube stuff that he had posted up, so I was like, oh, is something new coming out? 'Cause
Yeah.
gotta have all my stuff from the Clingerman.
yeah, so we just filmed 3 DVDs with Christian Woodmansey. So
Nice.
I'm working on that right now.
Guy's
so we
pretty
got-
all right. What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we did a 50-50, and then we actually did a double. It's going to be a dual DVD. So it's Christian Woodmansey's favorite thing. So it covers like passing and De La Hiva and reverse De La Hiva and 50-50. So there's a little crossover between the first 3 DVDs, and then there's a bunch of extras. Like
Yeah,
back tapes,
I enjoy
all
his
kinds
De
of
La
stuff.
Hiva and reverse De La Hiva
Yeah,
videos. So
yeah, it's really good stuff.
It's good stuff.
He's a good dude.
he's
Like-
awesome.
Like training with him, hanging out and stuff.
We've had him on the podcast. He's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, he's great.
I have managed to
Oh, he's been here.
consistently
Hate
miss
that guy.
literally every seminar that he's ever put on. I'm like, oh, cool. Kristen's got a seminar.
You were at that seminar, weren't you?
But that wasn't his. He was just he was assisting.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Sophia.
Sophia, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That's where we met him. We met him at Sophia Drysdale's seminar.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, like he's put on seminars in Indiana. He's done some stuff in the like at the Redsvic affiliates and whatnot. And
Yeah.
like literally every time I'm like, oh, I'd love to come to this, but I'm on the other end of the country, or
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
something
I
like
like to
that.
get a roll with him.
Of course you would.
sure.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna tell him next time I see him that you've been calling him
moves a
out for
lot.
like 2 years.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's busy.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, he's at Roots Athletics, I think it's
Roots,
called.
Yeah.
Roots
Yeah.
Athletics, yep.
Yeah, that's
Philly.
out.
Roots
Philly.
Philly. Philly.
Philly. Mhm.
Yeah. He's a little further. He's used to be in Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was William Vincent's coach at what is that Magic? I think it is BJJ or something like that.
don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He was at
Really?
like Scorpion Scorpion
Yes.
Fighting Systems for a
Yeah,
minute.
Scorpion Fighting Systems is,
Yeah.
and now it's Magic BJJ or something
Okay.
like that. But yeah, regardless, that place.
Yeah.
We know a dude who trained with him.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually how we met him. We were trying to get him to compete at our ego in one of the super fights, and he ended up bringing a guy down from Michigan to fight Wilson Hayes.
Okay.
And then I think, so we did the ego, and then Christian came in and taught a seminar the next day. And then Wilson stayed and taught for a couple of days at my academy, so that was nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
And then me and Christian just kind of kept talking and
Hit it off.
threw together the De La Hiva and reverse De La Hiva. And
When he came in for that, James ended up having surgery.
oh, yeah.
I think you were supposed to have it like later or something, and they were
Yeah,
like,
they
"Nope, we're
changed
going to
my-
do it on." Yeah, because we had to get the filming done faster because they changed when his
So-
surgery was going to be.
I've been needing this surgery on my ear because I got shot. We talked about that last time I was on here, and my ear's just all jacked up. I've had a tube for like 20 years now.
Multiple tubes.
Yeah, a bazillion tubes. And the doctor comes. He's like, "Hey, they've approved this procedure," and we'd been talking about it for a while. He's like, "It's finally approved. I'm going to get you on the table." And basically, it's like an angioplasty, but for the ear, right? Where they take the little tube in, they blow the balloon up, they expand everything, and he says, "But we can't just put you on the table. Like, no insurance will cover it. They won't let me just do it. So we're going to do a deviated septum surgery." So he looks at it. He's like, "It's not really deviated, but
Sure.
whatever." He's like, "Well, it's enough deviated that I can dig around in your nose a little bit, and then I'm just going to go in and do your ear while you're on the table."
Sure.
So I had a deviated septum surgery and an ear surgery
Nice.
while Christian was there, and
But yeah, so he didn't leave after finishing filming. He stayed and taught James's classes for him. He
Wow.
helped me move furniture in the house so that James could be set up. And our friends had their house caught on fire that same week, and him and his girlfriend, now wife, went and bought all this stuff for their kids, and they'd never even met these people, just
Nice.
that they were our friends. And
Yeah.
he's
Good
a
people.
good dude.
Good
dude.
people.
Yeah.
I love hearing stories like that. I
know.
really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Christian. A nice guy.
Right.
You so desperately want to choke him, don't you?
I'll still choke him. or get choked by him.
Right,
It doesn't
either
bother
way.
me
That's the
either
more
way.
likely result, actually.
More likely going to happen that way, right? For sure. But yeah, nice guy. Very
Yeah.
good guy. Cool. What was I gonna ask you? Oh, so how did the surgery go?
felt great for a couple weeks, and then it did not go well.
Didn't work.
Didn't stay.
Didn't stay.
So then they had to put something back in.
Just
Yeah,
a
we had a
tube.
tube.
Tube back in.
Yeah.
Huh?
Sucks.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the surgery to end all ear surgeries for him, and no,
It did not.
No.
So
Now we wait
Perhaps
for
one
the
day
next
we will
thing.
upgrade you with a cybernetic replacement.
Yeah.
give you some superpowers.
just gonna find some stem cells and just ram just
Right in
inject it
your ear.
myself right into
Way
my
in the future, man.
Yeah.
It seems to be. Yeah, that was a topic of discussion today.
I know.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, Greg was going on about his hip.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg was there?
telling me all
Oh,
about
nice.
the
Yeah,
stem
he-
cells and
he got the
stuff.
stem cells treatment. And,
Oh, he did.
yeah. It's been pretty miraculous for him.
Really?
amazing.
That's awesome.
Says vision improved and everything.
Yeah, that's the crazy one. Like
Wait, his vision improved?
so okay.
All right, let's hear
Which is
it.
actually
Okay,
pretty
yeah,
common.
that's-
Like
Is
it?
in
Yeah.
research stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, like
I can't do it quite justice because don't have the accent and whatnot. But he's he's explaining this to me. And he's like, and the doctor told me again, heavy Polish accent. He's like, the doctor told me there might be some side effects. And I'm like when I hear him say this, I'm like, that sounds terrible. Are you gonna,
normally aren't good.
Right. Yeah.
are you going to grow a second head? Greg, why do you have 3 ears now? Something like that. And I'm like, oh, right. Well, what kind of side effects? And he's like, Javi, I tell you. And he starts going in on how his vision's gotten better as a side effect of getting a friggin' stem cell injection in his hip. I'm like, this sounds amazing.
Right.
He's like,
Sign
yeah,
me
but
up.
like they don't know whether that's going to happen. Like it's
Right.
not like you're guaranteed to get better vision or anything else positive above and
It's just
beyond.
random.
Yeah. Like congratulations, your random mutation is a rat tail. You know, like, that guy got better hearing. That guy got better vision. You get a third thumb. You know,
Hey, it would help my grips.
Right? Yeah. Break that.
Where did he get it done at? Was it in Chicago or did he?
yeah. It
up
was
here
local.
somewhere.
I can't. I've
was it?
actually probably got it somewhere on my
he
phone.
was
here.
supposed to send me the
Send-
info.
yeah.
But
He probably has.
I'd like to know. Where
yeah,
he got it.
there's a guy, black belt up here, jiu-jitsu black belt, Eric Moon. He's doing some of it. I actually contacted him recently, and he referred me to a guy down in Indianapolis, actually down in Greenwood, like right where my academy is. But yeah, I've kind of been looking at it for a while, and you know, it's still new, but it's pretty promising. You know, like they're doing like the placental things, and you know, the PRP is kind of basic. I think it's more accepted, pretty widespread. Like you can get PRP just about anywhere, but then when you start to get into like well, these aren't your stem cells; these are from something else. Like
Right.
it's a little harder to find. But
Yeah.
I remember when eye surgery first came out. You know, everyone was
like LASIK stuff?
Yeah, LASIK. It was like, oh my god, what are they doing? This and that, and cost. Now I think you can get it for like $250 an eye.
Yeah.
it's like so inexpensive. It's
yeah,
like
I think
no
she
big
had
deal.
the PRK,
was like-
and it was
yeah.
like $2,000.
Yeah, like 2,500.
Yeah.
Best decision I've ever made.
Yeah,
Best
I
money
still
I've
wear
ever spent.
contacts. I still wear contacts.
Man, it's just so freeing to not wear contacts when you're doing jujitsu. It's
It sucks.
amazing.
Getting smashed in the face, and they're like, "Oh wait, my contact's still in." I don't even know.
No can do. Can't do
It's amazing
contacts.
not having them.
I know.
Being able to see as soon as you like wake up in the morning, it's
Right.
just a game changer.
My sister had it done. I don't know. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it in recent years. In fact, we may have even talked about this at which point, like a year ago, and I probably still said I hadn't looked into it because I still haven't. But yeah, like when I had first asked about it, I'm like, oh hey, you know, like you can fix my eyes, you can give me supervision.
Yeah.
like that's what I really want out of this deal is better than 20/20. Give me that. Give me that special shine job that lets me see in the dark, or
X-ray vision, maybe. I don't know.
down for that.
Diesel reference.
I'm glad you caught that, honestly. But yeah, no, like I was mainly looking.
Zito's just catching up.
Oh man.
But yeah, I was mainly like, you know, can I actually manage to get better than 20/20 vision out of this? And they're like, actually, we can't fix you at all. You've got like bad astigmatism. And at the time, I don't know if that's changed or anything. Because like I said, I haven't actually looked into it recently. But yeah, so I was like, oh well, I guess it's glasses for life then.
So that's what for me. I had astigmatisms in both eyes, and so they went in. You know, you have to wear your glasses for so long, which I never wore my glasses, and so I had to wear them. And then they're like, "Okay, you're not a candidate for LASIK. Let's give it a couple more weeks or whatever." I went back in, and they're like, "Yeah, we can do the PRK." So
that's the answer that I need to
Yep.
look for if I want.
Yeah.
And do you have supervision or just standard?
I think
vision?
standard. Yeah,
Okay.
no,
But still better than-
no seeing in the dark, no
Okay.
no X-ray vision, but it's still phenomenal. It's so nice.
It's good.
So yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, well, perhaps less research now that you've explained it to me, and I know what to look for. But yeah, some more research needs to be
Yeah.
done by me, I guess. But I've worn glasses my whole life. I'm just kind of used to it.
Feels like part of your identity.
It does. My secret
Oh,
identity.
His identity. With that tape, Pop. What's going on with that?
I've got a new pair coming. Yeah, these are like shattered up front here.
Yeah.
They're I don't know.
I just thought that was the design.
no.
I did not know that was tape either.
Yeah.
Really?
I did.
I mean, had I seen
My glasses
had I
are in
seen
the
both
van.
sides- just like I didn't see anything.
Harvey's just striping his glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Why
no,
don't you
these,
just-
are, these are ranked glasses. Yeah.
Nice.
Put a little red bar in there. It's like little white bars on
I
the
might get in
side.
trouble for that. But yeah, no. I've got a brand new titanium pair coming. They're like shockingly bendy. So I'm like,
Okay.
I basically walked into the optometrist and they're like, you know, we haven't seen you in several years. I'm like, yeah, I need new ones, you know. And they're like, yes, you do. I can't believe you've waited this long. And I was like, I've been busy. But I looked at the girl. I'm like, what's the closest thing you have to indestructible? And she's like, step right this way. and she shows me these
Come in this back room.
Yeah. I mean, she shows me these titanium glasses, and she's like, just starts bending them and twisting them and whatnot. I'm like, I'll take them. She's like, don't you? No, I don't care how much they cost. Like, just give me, because yes, I want that. Cool. And hopefully I'll have them soon, and they'll be, at least if they're even half as indestructible as they seem to be, I'll be pretty happy with them.
Nice.
So. And then most likely I'll lose them or something instead.
She's like, hey, you gotta wait 3 weeks while we get them in from China. Right. Get them on Alibaba.
Oh man! All right, guys, let's go do some technique. I want to do some jiu-jitsu. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Who's showing?
I mean, I don't care so long as you're the victim.
I don't have my gi.
Oh,
well, actually, I do have my gi.
What a strategic move on
Right,
his
that
part.
seems, yeah.
It's just really sweaty in my car. It's
Ew.
probably frozen by now.
Probably gross.
It's pretty much, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll
who's showing
figure it
technique?
out. We'll figure it out. We gotta
Joel?
get some world championship technique here, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
A few of our favorite things, right? Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
James, where can we find you?
Right here.
Well, obviously,
Right here, right now.
Across the,
Right here on this
online,
podcast.
dear. Online.
Online. Well, if you're in the Indianapolis area and would like to come meet me in person, Indiana Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Academy in Greenwood, Indiana, or Endurance Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Zionsville. We have our online store and videos available for streaming or download or DVD. That's on thefighthub.com.
I have most, if not all of them at this point. And
Nice.
They are excellent. I've got Hingers, yours, Woodmancy's.
Which of his?
Josh's.
No, which of James's?
Peruvian Dozen. I've got the Von Flu. Those are the ones I started
Those are
with.
good
Nice.
ones.
Those
Yeah,
are
they
those are some of the top
quality.
selling ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Leche Guard.
That's really good too.
Is there anyone you don't prefer? Perhaps.
The loop choke ones.
The BJJ
Yeah.
modified
Really good.
overhook.
Yeah, that's one of
Phenomenal.
my favorites. Yeah.
BJJ Modified Overhook's my personal favorite. I put most of my time into it. We sat down and filmed it, and then like during editing, I was like, Jesus Christ, there's so much stuff on here.
So many techniques.
So many. So it's a 2-disc set on DVD, but
Yeah. Quality stuff.
I like it.
AJ, where can people find you?
Well, I just released my first instructional DVD.
Awesome.
So I've been teaching a lot of self-defense seminars for like our police department or different businesses and stuff like that. So I released a self-defense DVD called Dare to be Fearless, and it's the Everyday Woman's Guide to Self-Defense. You can find it at thefighthub.com. And then you can find me on Facebook, AJ Clingerman. So
Nice. Yeah. Joel?
Facebook, Joel Blanton, and on Instagram, baby_silverback.
Of course. Good stuff, guys.
Yeah.
You got an Instagram too, don't you?
I am on Instagram. It's just James_Clingerman. I don't know. Just
isn't
type in
Yeah.
James
Isn't it
Clingerman.
Tap
you
Skills?
can find it, right?
Yeah, I
it
changed
used
it.
to be.
Oh, yeah,
it
it
used to
did
be
used to
Tap
be
Skills.
Yeah.
I would have went to tag you and been like, "Where'd he go?"
I tried to tag him as Tap Skills still the other day. So yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
It
What's
was
with the change? Why'd you change it? Just
just felt like
branding.
it should be his name. Yeah.
Just, I mean,
was done.
branding really.
But what that means is Tap Skills is now available.
Dang it.
That was my original Yahoo email.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
I use
was.
it for everything after that.
That's
Yep.
funny. All right, guys, let's go do some technique.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for
Let's
having
go
us,
get
guys.
hopped
Thank you, thank you.
beat up.
Yeah.
See you guys. Bye.
Later.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Very Hard to Submit. Go to vhtsny.com and check out their kimonos, compression gear, and apparel. This is a brand we are excited to be supported by. Their gear is high quality with a clean design. Go to vhtsny.com and see for yourself. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right?
Oh.